Hello, this is Uncle Ted, your ice cream alchemist with ice cream every day. This is part 2 of our ice cream video on how to make seaweed pineapple ice cream. Right now I've got 1 cup of whole milk and 2 cups of heavy cream. I've got them warmed up and I'm adding a cup of honey here. This time I actually made sure to warm the honey up a little bit so it would pour a little better. And once I get that in and mixed up, then I'm going to go ahead and add my stabilizers. Now I'm using Guar Gum and Xantham Gum. And then I'm also going to add some vanilla powder. I like using the powder instead of the liquid because the powder not only helps with the moisture but also just seems to taste better. And the liquid extract, I don't like the color it brings to the party, so I don't like using it in ice cream. I will if I have to, but I mean I'd rather go with the powder if I can. And once I get those in, I'll go ahead and give them a good blending. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of the dry non-fat powder milk. I'm going to do that in stages so that it doesn't clump up on me. And then once I get that done, I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of the pineapple syrup. Now this stuff is pretty hard to work with, so I wasn't able to give an exact measurement, but my goal was 3/4 of a cup. And like I said, it's kind of like taffy in the other video, so I want to make sure that my dairy base is warm so that it'll dissolve quickly, and plus I can dissolve it off the spoon once I go ahead and put it into the warm base, and then I'll just keep mixing that up with my whisk. Then we add 1 cup of our crushed pineapple that we strained of all the juice. We're going to add 1 cup of our stewed seaweed that we pureed and stewed in milk, and we're just going to mix this up. And then once it's nice and incorporated and warm, we're going to take it off the heat, put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours to cool, then we're ready to churn. Now on to the ice cream with Pandan. Alright, so for the second batch, what I'm doing is pretty much the same lineup of ingredients. You know, I've got my pineapple syrup, and I've got my honey, I got my seaweed that I stewed in milk, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a can of coconut cream to go along with our dairy. Still, it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio. 1 cup of milk, 2 cups of heavy cream. Still going to use the stabilizers, my Guar Gum and Xantham Gum, and I'm also going to use a little bit of vanilla powder. But the big thing is this. This is Pandan, or Pandan, and it is a product of Thailand. It's fairly common in Southeast Asian cultures. You'll use it in a lot of desserts. It's green, it's made out of leaves, and it's considered kind of the vanilla of Southeast Asia. Now, obviously I'm not going to find the leaves here. Sometimes you can find them in the freezer section of an Asian store. I didn't get that lucky, but I got this. This is the extract that's made out of it. Go with what you got. And since I've got the seaweed and the pineapple, I'm going to try and go for this whole Southeast Asian theme and maybe hope that the pandan will help with the flavor of the seaweed. It's a goal, and this is an experiment. I'm an alchemist. What the hell, right? Worst thing it can be is just god-awful, and we'll spit it out and say never do that again. Since it's been so long that I made a video, I'm a little rusty on certain camera angles. That's why you've got a great view of my forearm. But what I've got there is 1 cup of whole milk, 2 cups of heavy cream, and once it's starting to warm up, I'm going to add 1 can of cream coconut. This is the unsweetened kind that I got at the Asian markets, and then I'm going to go ahead and give that a good mixing. Once that's mixed up, then I'm going to go ahead and add our honey. I made sure to use local honey on this. And once that's added, then I'm going to add 1/2 cup of our powdered non-fat dry milk. And this is going to be added in bunches so that we don't make clumps in there. If you dump the whole 1/2 cup in there, it'll just clump up and you'll have a mess and a lot of, lumps that you got to fish out later on. It's just not worth it. So do it in small batches and it'll make things a lot easier for you later on. Then we go ahead and add our stabilizers, our Xantham Gum and Guar Gum. I did not put vanilla in this because I've got Pandan in there. Once I've got those added and I mixed them in, then I'm going to go ahead and add our 3/4 of a cup of the pineapple syrup that we made, and once again it's hard to measure, it's hard to work with because the stuff's like taffy. So basically once you've got your base warm and almost hot, then you're going to go on ahead and put that syrup in because it'll dissolve much faster, and plus you'll be able to just dip your spoon in there and dissolve it into the warm base. It'll make things a lot easier to work with. Once we get everything blended, then we can go ahead and add our Pandan. This is my first time working with Pandan, and while I really enjoyed the flavor, I probably could have gotten away with 3/4 of a tablespoon of Pandan instead of 1 full tablespoon like I used. Like I said, it's my first time working with it, so maybe I overdid it a little bit. But honestly, the flavor was good. I'm going to use this stuff again and some other flavors of ice cream because I really enjoyed how it worked out. Probably won't go as overboard as I did this time, but so be it. Now, once I did that, then I was able to add 1 cup of our stewed and pureed seaweed, and all I need to do is mix it up real well, make sure that the flavors were well combined, and then I put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it was ready to put in our ice cream maker according to manufacturer's instructions, and it made a wonderful ice cream. And I really hope that you guys get a chance to try this. I'm Uncle Ted, the Ice Cream Alchemist. Thank you for watching. I make ice cream for the people who are special to me. Who do you make ice cream for? Let me know in the comments.